Hi, I'm Landon,
I'm Abby.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Ladson.
and this is the Womp podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we did it.
Yeah.
Okay, have like the
That
little
took
intro
literally
music.
10 minutes.
That
You
took us
fucking
10 minutes to
nailed
say
it.
that.
Nailed it.
Okay.
Can we not
So-
tell anyone from home about this? Ever?
I mean,
Agreed.
who else is gonna listen to it? You know,
Sawyer.
Oh my god.
Sawyer will listen to it.
If the older guys in my fraternity found this, I would get kicked out of me. I'm not even joking. I would literally get murdered.
Oh my god.
Nobody can know about this.
Okay.
Okay.
We can't get famous until the end of the semester.
Gotcha.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah. It'll take a second.
Done.
I do want to be drunk for this. Change my mind.
Next time.
Hi everyone. So this is the Womp podcast. We already introduced ourselves, but so in this podcast we are going to be talking about Star Wars and basically cover what we love about what's going on in the Star Wars community right now, what kind of news there is, just some of our opinions on, what's kind of happening in the Star Wars fandom right about now. So to begin with, in this episode, we thought we would just kind of talk about our love for Star Wars and how Star Wars as a whole has impacted our lives so much.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars.
Thanks, Connor. So, me, Latson, and Connor have known each other since we were little babies. And we have really grown together as friends through Star Wars.
That's actually very true.
Yeah.
I actually, literally, me and Landon weren't friends for a brief period of my life where I wasn't really following Star Wars, and then we became friends again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were like friends, and then we just weren't, and then
Star Wars.
Well, The Force
together.
Awakens.
Force Awakens
came out, and then me, Latson, and Connor started talking about
It
that.
got spoiled for me.
The Friendship
yeah,
Awakens.
The Friendship Awakens.
The Friendship Awakens.
And Abby and I became friends through Star Wars as
Yes.
well. So.
Yeah, we discovered that, and here we are.
And here we are, sitting in a dorm room, Skype calling our friends from across the country about Star Wars. So I like how everyone was talking before we started recording, and now that we're actually
Recording,
doing it,
everyone's
no one's talking.
I'm looking at Twitter.
He's looking at Twitter. I like how there were bird noises when you said that too.
That was pretty funny.
To start with, maybe if we talked about how we were introduced to Star Wars.
Yeah, would you want to go first? Landon?
I'll go first. Yeah. So I grew up with Connor and Latson and some friends of ours talking about Star Wars, but I never really got into it until surprisingly late.
Okay.
I got into it when I was 9. And that was when the Clone Wars was coming out in 2008. And I remember seeing they had a live thing going on with Ashley Eckstein, and there were a bunch of clone troopers. I was like, what's this thing? So then I started to watch it, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to watch the movies now. So my grandma
You
went
actually
out.
wait. You're saying you started with the Clone Wars?
I watched a few episodes of the Clone Wars, and I was like, I kind of want to get into the movies. I think
that.
Yeah, I think technically to begin with, my grandma had gotten me the novelization of Phantom Menace, of all things, from the library, and was like, yeah, Star Wars? And I started reading, and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Because it was a book, but which I love to read, but
I ain't no nerd.
I ain't no nerd. So That's not true. So then, yeah, then the Clone Wars came out, and I was like, oh, maybe I will give this a try. And then my grandma went and got the movies, and I started to watch all of them, and then I was hooked from then on out.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For me, it's like very similar. It's actually it's not similar because it's always like kind of been there like in my life, like Star Wars. Like I remember watching A New Hope for the first time, but growing up when we did, we lived in like a very prequel heavy era.
Oh yeah.
And like all the toys, all the things, prequels, like especially like the Lego games, like the Lego toys, like I have probably seen Attack of the Clones like more than any Star Wars movie. And not saying that it's my favorite. I mean,
no shame.
It's no shame. It's not the best one.
No, but Attack of the Clones used to be my favorite too. Like I watched it over again.
I would say that Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Debatable.
I still think Phantom
What do you
Menace.
think? What do you guys think is the worst Star Wars movie?
I mean, okay, it could be debated between Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace. I'm not saying Phantom Menace is worse, but
I would say for sure Revenge
But
of the
what
Sith
about
is
The Last Jedi?
Yeah, what's everyone's opinions on The Last Jedi? I feel like you have to establish
That's a whole new can of worms. So.
that'll be the next episode.
Okay.
That can be after we talk nicely about Star Wars.
Yes.
Which like everyone, I think everyone in this group like to a degree liked Last Jedi though.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I to a degree like Attack of the Clones. I just think it's the worst one.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, here's my case. Attack of the Clones. I would say that it has all of the bad things that the Phantom Menace has, without really any of the redeeming qualities. You know, I would say that the best. I would say they're similar in quality, but that the best scene in Phantom Menace is better than the best scene in Attack of the Clones, and the worst scene in Attack of the Clones
is worse.
Is better than is worse than the worst scene in Phantom Menace, and that's my case. And it also contains the worst lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars canon.
I do agree about the lightsaber fight, actually.
Yes.
Which is Yoda versus
Katsu. Yeah, I do agree.
We just watched that last week, and
we did.
And watching it right after Phantom Menace, you realize how it is such a step down.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like what they did with. So to the audience, Abby and I are film majors, so like this might get a little dorky, but like I at least like what they did with the lighting when Anakin and Dooku are fighting, and they have like the cool lightsabers flashing.
Yeah.
But the Yoda and the Count Dooku just never has that quite right with me in my soul.
That being said, the big Clone Wars scene, the Jedi and the thing.
Oh yeah.
The big Coliseum, that's pretty tight.
It's
the best Lego Star Wars level.
Except
for
maybe.
I would say Camino is the best Lego Star Wars
This
level.
is why I love Attack of the Clones, because of Camino and the clones themselves, even though they're barely in the movie, and anything with Obi-Wan, like all that whole thing where Obi-Wan goes to Camino is like all my favorite things of that movie all at the same time. So, and Jango Fett, it's all good.
All right. We're getting off topic.
Right. We are.
It wouldn't
what is the topic?
Yeah.
The topic is how you came to love Star Wars.
Abby was talking.
Oh,
about how she.
I mean, I kind of covered it all. It was just very like prequel heavy. Like I would say, like growing up, like Padme was like my girl, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and now like there's so much Star Wars, but back then it was just the 6 films, and like I really got into like being like a fangirl when Force Awakens was coming out and like getting more into the fandom. And it's just been like that ever like since like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And now there's so much Star Wars.
2014.
Well, like the first trailer came out in 2014.
Yeah, that's when Disney bought Star Wars. And they were immediately like, we're making a movie.
Wait,
now.
The trailer came out over a year before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
The only reason I remember that is because I saw something about it recently in like a post or something on
because like
Star Wars
compared
account.
to episode 9, like it's what 9 months away, and we don't even have a title, and that one had a trailer.
Yeah. Wow, that's true.
They better not do the Solo thing.
I know.
I'm very concerned at this point.
I mean, they're gonna have Star Wars Celebration, and they're gonna get us hyped in the next, what you said, 9 months?
Yeah.
When is Star Wars Celebration?
It is next
May?
month.
Yeah.
It's in
Well,
April.
Yeah, it's in April. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Celebration's gonna hit, and then it's just gonna be nonstop from there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get so much stuff.
So. This better be my favorite movie.
So who's next? Connor?
I'll go. Yeah. So, I mean, I've liked Star Wars since I was pretty little. Me and my mom really who got into Star Wars together, which she had seen all the movies when she was growing up, kind of as they came out. She saw the originals. But I think I had a couple maybe toy lightsabers before I really started watching the movies.
Yeah.
The first movie that I saw was Episode 5.
Okay. That's a solid one to start with.
Yeah. Me and my mom rented it from a Blockbuster up the street.
Whoa! What a like
90s.
Yeah.
You guys see in Marvel?
Yeah, got it from a Blockbuster. Watched Episode 5. And
Can I tell a super quick story? We watched A New Hope on VHS at Belmont at our school.
Wow, you're cool.
Well, so it was like a screening.
Are you chirping Landon?
So it was
cool.
like a screening. And they do it so that we can learn, quote unquote, about film or whatever. That's how they get away with it, is they're like, so we have to talk about this so that you learn something. So this girl gets up in front and she looks at this crowd of college students and she goes, so who here has never watched a VHS? And no one raised their hand because like we'd all seen VHS.
Yeah.
I don't get what it is about people these days thinking that like CDs have never been seen before by this generation.
But like we lived.
Yeah, no, maybe go back like 3 years younger than us, and you might get some people that haven't watched like VHS.
It's like all these. It's people who like just get out of college. It's like young people who like just get out of college. They love doing that thing because once you get out of college, it's really the first time you feel old. That's what our teachers in high school who were young used to do all the time too. And it was like you're a solid maybe like 9 years older than me, and you're acting like I don't know what a landline is.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good rant, Landon.
Right, sorry. Okay, continue, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have that many memories of my start of liking Star Wars because I was so young, I guess.
Because it was always there. Well, that's good. Like that's
yeah. Like I know I watched Episode 5 as my first movie.
Yeah.
But like from there, I just watched the rest of them. I remember watching Clone Wars when it first came on TV.
Yeah.
Like, we would get up every Saturday morning and watch Clone Wars.
What a time capsule.
Remember when it was on Friday nights?
Friday nights. Wait, did it?
And then they moved it. They moved it to Saturday.
It started on Friday nights? Okay, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That was awesome. Went to Star Wars in concert.
Yeah, we
that was very fun.
Yeah.
Just
I wish I could have not gone to that then and gone to it now. I would trade.
I don't know if I would, because I had a blast when we went.
When did
you don't even remember it?
That picture that you saw on our Instagram.
Oh my gosh, that was
tiny children.
We were little.
Star Wars concert.
Why would you? What do you mean? Why would you go now instead of then?
Because I know a lot more about the music now, and I feel like I could appreciate it a lot more when I was little. And then I was little, and when I was little, I didn't even necessarily associate the music with different scenes, so it was just kind of like, oh, music. When I was there when I was little.
Yeah.
But now I'm like a huge soundtrack guy, and I can associate every musical song with with a specific scene. I just feel like I would get a lot more out of it now.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well, that's a nice transition into Latson's experience with Star Wars.
Yes, my experience with Star Wars. I was really little. I don't know how little, but I have a cousin who I was basically raised. We were basically raised as brothers, and I was over at his house, and he had A New Hope for DVD, and we just popped it in and we watched it. And I didn't know what it was. I like knew that Star Wars existed when I was little, but I'd never actually seen them. Thought Jedi was pronounced Jetty. I remember that very clearly. Um, I mean, this was right around all of the Revenge of the Sith hype, so like I was seeing it everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And basically we just watched A New Hope together, and we would watch the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader lightsaber fight over and over again because there's a part where Obi-Wan spins completely unnecessarily, and we were like 5 years old, and we would keep rewinding it just because we wanted to laugh at Obi-Wan for spinning unnecessarily. But and then I used to call Barnes up, like from our home phone, and I would just ask
From your
if he
landline.
yeah, from our landline, and I just asked if he
Kids
wanted
these
to
days
talk
don't
about.
remember that.
I would just ask if he wanted to talk about Star Wars, and then we'd just be like, "Oh, remember this happened? Remember that happened?" Just like stating scenes from the movie.
Classic.
Then I kind of got out of Star Wars for a while, like in middle school and like
Star Wars was
early
cool, right,
high
Matthew?
school. It wasn't really about that. I just kind of like, I don't know. It just kind of fell off. Like it was kind of losing its relevancy anyway. And then Force Awakens came out, and I went with Connor and Landon because when we were little, we all liked Star Wars. And
Also,
and
it was my birthday party.
It was also Connor's birthday party.
Yeah.
And I watched all the movies leading up to it to refresh my memory because I hadn't seen him in years.
I remember you watching episode 6 in the pizza restaurant that we were in before.
I also
we went
watched
to
it
see the
in the
movie.
car on the way to the theater, which I don't
Yeah.
recommend. And I watched all of the movies again, or I watched the original trilogy again, and then I watched Force Awakens, and it just like blew my mind. I just thought it was like so good, and I hadn't really thought about it because I also really hadn't seen the movie since I was little, so I didn't get a lot of it, and so I don't know, and that really flipped it around, and I kind of got obsessed with it, like within like a few days of seeing it.
Yeah.
I literally, I was like, what? How old were we then? 15?
Yeah.
It was that movie came out in December. I literally went home to my parents and I said, scrap everything on my Christmas list. I want you to buy me Star Wars stuff. That's all I really want for Christmas.
That's
And I got
amazing.
like a bunch of like bobbleheads and lightsabers and stuff. And it was super cute. And I just like immediately like remembered why I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. And here I am doing a podcast about it on a Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Was The Force Awakens like that was all of our first time seeing it in theaters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did anyone see
Hold
Clone
up.
Wars?
No, I don't.
Let me. Okay, I think I saw Clone Wars in theaters. That's the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah.
I also saw.
I was in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also saw
Oh my
episode
God.
1 in theaters because they
In
did this
3D?
thing
In 3D.
where they did it in 3D.
I
Oh
saw it
my
too.
gosh.
I saw that too.
They
and
were
they
gonna
never
do
did.
all the movies, right?
Yeah, they were, and then they just didn't.
They did episode 1 and they didn't do any more.
Probably because they
Really?
episode 1. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta imagine.
I feel like you should
not
do
many
like
people...
4 or like, you know.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do we do next? Episode 2?
Yeah.
No offense, Abby.
Oh no, none taken. Like now being like older, I'm like, obviously Attack of the Clones is not a good movie.
Yeah.
But I would say now it's probably like one of the Disney films, but it still has a place in my heart.
I was just gonna say, even where like the prequels fail, the story has always like even in Phantom Menace, when Jar Jar's like stepping in poop or whatever, if I can look past
I
the
would,
literal.
I would say, actually, I would like to amend my earlier statement that the worst scene in Attack of the Clones is worse than the worst scene in Phantom
Yeah.
Menace. Because Jar Jar stepping
He
in
steps-
alien is probably the worst scene in the entire canon. I would
That
probably
that
say.
or when the Eope, the alien, is right in front of him.
Yeah,
He
and he said
Like a
farts on
big
him?
scene, and it farts right in his face.
I would probably say that's one of the worst scenes in Western film.
Uh,
Can
and
we,
that's the
can we all
most
go?
scene too. But the story's good. That's my point.
Can we all
Just
go
really
through and
bad.
say? Can we all go through and say our favorite Star Wars movie?
ooh,
Hmm.
okay.
I just want to do this because I want to see y'all's reaction when I say mine.
Okay.
Okay. It's like
Now
Attack
I'm
of the
scared.
Clones.
Okay, Landon, go first.
So I am always wrestling with what my favorite one is. It's always either between one of the original trilogy, and I always go back and forth. I think lately I've really zeroed in on Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
and it's gonna be for literally the same reason Latson. I feel like Latson's gonna say his is because of the lightsaber fight between Vader and Luke. It's literally just like it feels like the pinnacle of all Star Wars. Like it's
Yeah.
so good. And like the rest of the movie is enjoyable on its own, but just having that scene in it alone makes it like shoot up.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's my favorite. It's my favorite movie scene of all time.
Yeah.
It's not even close. I actually, I also like kind of go back and forth between a bunch of different ones. I would actually say it's probably between Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, just because like. What? No, I'm in gym shorts.
If this goes in the podcast,
What?
for context,
You say these are
Latson
soccer
is
shorts?
literally walking around.
Yeah, these are
On
like
his
my part of my
campus.
uniform, and I'm in my slippers. Where are you guys going?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, have fun.
You're saying, Latson?
I would say it's actually between like Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, just because, and there's really not a reason. I love Revenge of the Sith, and it was the last Star Wars movie that I saw of the original 6, and I just think it's so funny. Like I just think the movie's hilarious, and like if I could choose at any time to pick one Star Wars movie to watch, I would pick Revenge of the Sith probably.
Oh yeah.
Just because everything that happens in it is so iconic. Even the stupid stuff that happens is iconic and it's hilarious. And obviously, like, I'm a big fan of the prequel memes, and Revenge of the Sith is like the father of all of the prequel
Yeah.
memes.
Oh yeah.
Because every line is
Every line
so
has
quotable.
Oh yeah. Honestly though, I think I agree with if someone were just to look at me and be like, "Hey, Landon, you want to watch a Star Wars movie right now?" I would probably choose Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I guess
But
that takes away from the shock of my choice because my choice is Revenge of the Sith for my favorite movie.
Yeah, I guess it's not that shocking.
I would say that like Revenge of the Sith is like, I would say Return of the Jedi is like my answer for favorite movie, but Revenge of the Sith actually is my favorite movie.
Yeah, I
Is
feel
what
like
I would
if you're
say.
talking to a normal person and you want respect, you can't be like Revenge of the Sith.
Well,
I don't care about respect.
yeah.
I respect myself.
Here's a theme that I want for this podcast. Whatever your opinion on Star Wars is, now maybe not every opinion. There's some I've heard some where it's a little questionable. Yeah. But you know, I think we should really be accepting of like we grew up with the prequels, you know, and we acknowledge that they're not perfect by any means, but you know, we still enjoy them.
But they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the best it could be.
Like I love them, you know. So.
But yeah, kind of on the topic of my favorite movie, like I guess like both like Len and Lance were saying, they're like, yeah, we kind of struggle deciding. And I was like, yeah, you know, I struggle too. But at one point, I was like, you know what? no more struggling. I'm just gonna say Revenge of the Sith, favorite movie, and
It's
just
coming
stick with
out.
it. Like,
Yeah.
stick to my guns.
I've had people like embarrassedly tell me that was their favorite movie because whenever someone's like, oh, like I like Star Wars, I like immediately try to strike up a conversation. And I've had people like sheepishly tell me that Revenge of the Sith is their favorite movie, and I was like, you don't have to be ashamed, random stranger that I just met. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Lennon said, he was like, the story is there in the prequels, and like
Yeah.
the story in Revenge of the Sith is so good,
Oh yeah.
even if like the acting is not up to par at some points.
I still think that Hayden did what he did. Like
He did,
you know,
he did good.
I mean, to a degree, it's on the director. You know,
Yeah.
like it's on George.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch like actual like Hayden Christensen films that aren't Star Wars because I like want to see like his
Like Looper?
acting. He's in that?
Or
Oh,
not,
yeah.
Is it Looper? Is that the one where he's like jumping? Where he can like be like and like pop up in random places?
Fact check. Let me.
Landon's got
Yeah,
his
I've got the
laptop out.
laptop open for this. Exactly.
Looper might be another one.
It
has Samuel L. too.
That looks like
Let me
it's
see.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Let me go to.
Oh, I think it's Jumper.
Jumper. I always get those two mixed up. It is Jumper.
Okay.
I just remember I saw that because it had Hayden Christensen in it.
Yeah.
And I always remember
like, oh, you go.
I was just gonna say total like unrelated tangent, but the trailer had a scene where he doesn't open a car door and he like leans into the car like you would do when you're getting in a car door and he just teleports through the car door. And I think about it like regularly in my life. That was all I was gonna say, like a little tangent.
I love that.
I
remember when I watched like he's in Jumper.
He's in Jumper and Shattered Glass.
Ooh. I remember like watching Return of the Jedi like on like the DVD we had, and it has the version where Hayden Christensen is like at the end as a Force ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
Yes.
as like a 6-year-old being confused and because I didn't understand like that it was like an added in thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how did they know? And I knew the concept that Return of the Jedi was made before the prequels. So I just remember like a very confusing thought of being like, how did they know that was who they were going to choose? So they filmed that. Like, I just remember being like, that doesn't make sense. And so that was just.
I had a similar experience. The first time I saw it, because I grew up with the one where it's that old dude. What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember. I'll look it up.
All right.
But like Sebastian.
Sebastian
basically-
Stan, yeah.
That's.
No.
That's Metal Arm.
Way
Soldier.
wrong. So wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Metal Arm.
Return.
I think that should be cut out. But
Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw was the original.
anyway, but the first time I saw it with Hayden Christensen, I didn't know that like the original trilogy had been edited at all for like the releases. So the first time I saw it with Hayden Christensen, I was just like, "What the fuck?" Because I was like, because I had no idea.
Yeah. No, it's like it takes you out of it every time, even if it's like a meaningful moment. You're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
That's true. It does kind of ruin the vibe of that scene.
Yeah. Because even
It's
if
just
you're
like,
like,
oh, there's
feeling it,
that-
you're like, oh, forgot this happened.
Also,
Yeah.
I like how Anakin gets to be young and hot after he dies, but Obi-Wan still has to be like all.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts on just like not about what it takes away from the movie, but like should the Force Ghost be young Anakin or should it be old in the suit Anakin?
I don't know.
Um,
Like, I feel like it's like if like the Force Ghosts are like them in like Jedi heaven, so it should be like the good version of them, if that makes sense.
Isn't it like though? Isn't it like not like Jedi heaven? Don't they talk about it in the Clone Wars? It's like you become a part of the like.
Yeah.
It's like a part of the
living
Force.
and then you have to
You're
like
like-
rip yourself away. From,
Yeah.
like, the collective.
You have
Like,
to.
doesn't it
It's like
suck to do?
It's like a not pleasant experience to like bring yourself into like an animate object again into the galaxy. And they've covered that a lot more recently with the Clone Wars and with even like a short story in the 40th anniversary thing they did I can't remember the name of it. With all the short stories.
Oh yeah. From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view, yeah. They had a story where it's about Obi-Wan's death, and like how he joins the Force. But I think they also have something about Qui-Gon. I think it mentions that I think that's where they mention that it's like a painful experience.
Yeah.
Don't they have an explanation for why Yoda and Obi-Wan can be Force ghosts? How does Anakin?
We don't know.
How did he learn to do that?
So
I think they should probably release something.
Yeah.
Explaining that.
I still have a theory that Episode 9 might have something Anakin related.
Do you think Hayden Christensen related? Like,
I hope.
Yes.
I actually genuinely hope he went to Celebration.
They
for the 40th
just announced
anniversary,
yesterday.
And he's going to Celebration this year.
Oh boy, give me Hayden Christensen Force Ghost.
At this point, he probably just needs to double down. I feel like he spent a little bit trying to remove himself from Star Wars, and I think he should just accept it now because everybody loves him in Star Wars, and everybody else in the world doesn't. So
yeah, I just had a memory of when we were in one of our film classes, and people were like asking what people's favorite movies was, and I talked about Star Wars, and some guy next to me goes, "Even Return of the Jedi?" And I was like,
what?
Return of the Jedi? I was like, is that the hill you want to die on?
yeah,
Return of the Jedi? I was like, especially Return of the Jedi. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing that I didn't realize for a while is that Return of the Jedi was kind of like the prequels of the actual like 80s. Like apparently like a lot of people like would make fun of that movie and like be like the first two are like the only real ones.
Yeah, like they didn't like the Ewoks.
Yeah. I like the Ewoks.
I like the Ewoks.
Yeah, they're cute.
Like I mean, I don't think they detract anything from the story at all.
No, and I feel like it just like shows that there's so many different types of planets and like groups of people. Do you guys like the like post Disney movies, like all the new ones? Like, are you like glad that they're making a lot of movies? Do you think they're making too
Let's just
many?
dive into The Last Jedi. That's where we're reaching.
No. Save
I will say I will give a quick hot take on the Disney move. You can say whatever you want about Disney and what they're doing now. Disney buying Lucasfilm saved the Star Wars franchise, not only because it made it more movies, it saved the cultural relevancy of Star Wars.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
I'd agree to that.
Star Wars, honestly, people didn't really talk about it anymore, and it had only been a few years since the last Star Wars movie had been made. And obviously there were still like super fans like there are for everything, but like it wasn't anymore as regarded as like the huge like cultural phenomenon that it was. And Disney bought it and they did an amazing job. They released new movies, they hyped it up so well that now like they made it like official and pretty much set in stone that Star Wars is not a nerdy thing at all. It's
for everyone almost.
It's for everyone, and it's like completely socially acceptable to like be obsessed with it, basically. And I think that really cemented its. I feel like Disney buying it really cemented its place in like Western film canon.
Oh yeah, I'd agree.
Like helped cement. I mean, obviously it was going to be there forever, but
it was still going. But you know when. Like, I mean, they had the Clone Wars going on.
Also, like, me and Landon and Connor wouldn't have really been friends if Disney hadn't bought Lucasfilm.
What?
I said we wouldn't have like. Yeah, I was saying that the three of us really wouldn't have been friends if Disney hadn't bought Lucasfilm. We started hanging out again.
Yeah.
But that's unnecessary. That's not part of the. That's not a reason why the Disney move was a good move. That's just a statement.
I think that's a reason that the Disney move was a good move.
I mean, it did that
Uh-huh.
for me. It did that for me. It brought it back to the eyes of the public. Me being a
Yeah.
member of the public, I'm a perfect example of how good it was for the franchise. So say what you will, but I think it's fantastic, and I will support them.
What do you guys think about how much content they're pouring out?
I think it's too much in a too short amount of time.
I would agree.
Yeah, I wasn't of that opinion until Solo,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
Solo
say.
completely changed my mind. I was like, okay, it's too much.
Yeah.
And it's not because of Solo in any way as a movie, but of their handling of Solo.
I think
Yeah.
from the beginning, it has just been such a weird journey with that whole movie. Like, no one was
The
asking for it.
directors got fired.
But, like, even before that, like, you were like, no one was like, yes, this is what we want from a Star Wars spinoff, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
yeah,
and then just everything that went down, and just even, like, going to the movies, like, you could just tell that like, we were just talking about how it's for everyone. Like, going to Force Awakens and Rogue One and Last Jedi opening
some
night.
of my best movie-going experiences.
Yeah, but like going to those opening night, it's a crowded theater, like everyone's hype. It's like a really fun experience. And then seeing Solo opening night, it was like at the theaters. I go to the same theater every time, half full auditorium.
Yeah,
Like it just was so weird. Like Solo was just such a weird time.
I remember the TV spot came out during the Super Bowl or something like that. And I was super excited, and somebody goes, "You're making another one?" They're like, "Didn't The Last Jedi like just come out?"
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a good point." Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. Like, I can always take new Star Wars content, but I think the general public needs these breaks so that they can get more hype about it.
Think about the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Whenever you see one come out, you're like, are they actually still doing this? And obviously for us, it's exciting because we are making a podcast about Star Wars. But
Like Fast and Furious.
yeah, like I mean,
Yeah,
it's a little bit different because Fast and Furious movies are kind of bad. But like
No, I get it.
Pirates is the best example I could think of. But they just come out and you're like, are they really still doing this? And I feel like the more you like oversaturate with Star Wars, the more like an average person is gonna stop caring at all about Star Wars.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think Solo is like the perfect example of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys haven't seen Solo, for the audience, if you guys haven't seen Solo, I mean, I'd still recommend it. I mean, it's not like a blow your mind type of movie or anything in terms of Star Wars, even in terms of like this content they've been coming out with lately.
Yeah.
But I think it's you have fun watching the movie. Like, it's a fun movie, which is also why I'm kind of glad that they are having a bit of a break between the advertising for Solo and Episode 9.
Yeah.
But I
the
am
advertising
kind of worried.
for. I wonder if it was like kind of a calculated move to like have the Marvel thing kind of wrap up before they even start. They even start, like the marketing.
That's a good point.
Do you mean Endgame? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Marvel thing.
Yeah.
I was saying
The
to my
Marvel
mom.
thing.
I was saying to my mom earlier that we're having like two big ends of like a franchise in the same year.
Oh, it's more. It's even more than that. I mean, Game of Thrones is ending.
God, what the heck?
Yeah, right. There's something else.
What are we gonna do?
And like
I don't know.
Obviously, like Star Wars
Politics.
and Marvel aren't both just like ending, but like
for a while.
But those
far as,
arcs
like-
are, like that group of Avengers, and like I'm getting
Episode 9.
now
is the
I'm
end
getting
of it.
sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Rey and Kylo,
Yeah.
like ugh.
Well, I feel like years down the line, they can still go back and be like, we're making another one with Rey and Kylo.
Yeah.
But
So
for all intents,
now
for
she's
all
General Rey, and she's in charge of the
resilience.
resilience. Yeah. Could not think of a single other word for resistance to rebellion, resilience.
Are you guys excited for Galaxy's Edge?
Ooh.
Yes.
Wait,
Very.
quick side note. Do you guys think that Rey is going to be like a crack addict like Leia was?
Like,
Like
Or do
Leia?
you think?
Oh,
quick
Leia.
side note. Quick side note. Do you think that Daisy Ridley will become addicted and depressed and an alcoholic like our
I
beloved
don't
Carrie
think
Fisher?
so.
Oh my god.
I can see it. Also, the question must be asked: Is she porking Adam Driver?
No.
I
mean-
don't think so.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna go with yes for both.
Are you just
Both.
What?
I don't think.
You think Daisy Ridley is a crack addict and that she's hooking up with Adam Driver?
Not a crack addict. Carrie Fisher wasn't a crack addict. I misspoke. I meant high functioning alcoholic.
I mean, I don't know about. I can't pretend to know about Daisy Ridley's social life or anything.
I mean, we
Oh my
didn't
God.
find out until Carrie Fisher's autobiography that she was porking Harrison Ford and she was an alcoholic. What
Well,
skeletons
yeah.
does Daisy Ridley have?
I think she's. I think Daisy Ridley's fine.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that she's a gem.
you would
of
have
a person.
you would have thought Carrie Fisher was fine too, Landon.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have.
To be
Everyone
fair,
knew
nobody puts on a gold
Better.
bikini if they don't have a little bit of issue. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
Everyone kind of knew that Carrie Fisher had her own issues. I think that was.
Well,
a-
yeah, but it was like
That
an
was a
open it was like an open secret of Hollywood. The people didn't know
Oh.
until at least until the movies were done
So
filming.
you're
I mean, we
saying
might
that-
find out in 2 years that Daisy really has like a foot fetish or something. We don't know anything about these people.
Okay, bringing it back. Whatever you're talking about. I don't
We were
even
talking about
know.
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. So, I mean, everything that they've released about Galaxy's Edge so far looks
God, what time is it?
insane. I mean, they have. I always go to this as an example just because I'm so amazed that they chose Hondo Onaka to make. It's something like the second most advanced animatronic at Disney or something like that.
It's like the number one, isn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah. For me, I'm a big theme park person and like Disney parks fan in general. So like I'm so excited, but like thinking about the crowds for like the
Oh,
next
man.
5 years, it's gonna be insane. Like
Yeah, they
now-
said they're expecting 10-hour lines. I don't know if that was said already, but I
Yeah.
zoned out for a little bit. But they're expecting 10-hour lines, like with a reservation. Like I'm pretty sure you have to get a reservation to stand in line for 10 hours.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
which is like that's not even fun at that point, you know?
Yeah. They're gonna try to make the lines a little more tolerable by having things like Hondo
interactive
talking to
cues
you.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
you can interact with your phone with like boxes. Even while people are in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon ride, you can like walk around the Falcon and look at it. But see, that just suggests it's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Um,
I don't go to Disney that much, but I've been enough to tell you that like you can only have so much in a queue to satisfy
Yeah.
you for.
I
while
don't
you're
know.
waiting.
They've started doing this. I went to clarify. I went to Disney for spring break, so last week. They've started having like phone interacting stuff, which I've never seen before until now. And they had like a thing on Space Mountain where you look up. There's codes hidden around the queue, and you
Yeah.
there's codes hidden around the queue, and you like plug it into your phone to upgrade your thing. And that was actually a little like sad when the line ended. I mean, it would have gotten boring if I'd been in line for like 10 hours, but it was fun. So I'm sure that they'll handle it some way. Disney does a good job with these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm reading something here. A bunch of new details about Galaxy's Edge. They're calling out Wizarding World of Harry Potter, saying that this will be far more immersive.
Good. Also, it's in Disney. Universally, you'll see like people in like tube tops and flip flops like walking around with a Harry Potter wand. And you're like, okay. You wouldn't
Yeah.
be at Hogsmeade.
Harry Potter World's pretty great.
It is great, but it would be greater if it was in Disney.
I'm wondering if they should have waited longer and like they could have honestly, at least in Florida, made like a whole Star Wars park, as opposed to like just the land. But that's just like my theme park opinion.
Dude, if they made if Disney made a Star Wars park, that would be
Game over.
game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I'm
why
moving
could
to Florida.
this have come out like when we were like 13, had all the time in the world? Like, why does it have to come out when we're like almost 20, like in the middle of college, like probably gonna have like the next excuse we'll have to go to Disney World is when we have children.
Ew.
So
Actually, no, we gotta make a plan, Landon and Connor. Because
Yeah.
when does when's
we'll
the
talk
next
about that
celebration in
after the
Orlando?
podcast. What are you guys looking forward to coming up in Star Wars content?
I would say the biggest thing is probably, obviously Episode 9. I'm really excited to see how Galaxy's Edge is. So.
I'm excited for Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clone Wars Season 7.
yeah.
Facts. Wow, there's a lot of
Yeah.
good things happening right now.
Right?
We can get to that next time.
Yeah.
we can-
for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll cover all these more extensively coming up. But
Yeah.
there's a lot to look forward to in Star Wars right now.
Yeah, we were just saying like it feels like an era's ending, but I feel like yes and no. There's gonna be so much, and also the Game of Thrones movies, not the Game of Thrones movies, the Star Wars
directors.
movies directed by the Game of Thrones guys.
Yes. So there are new rumors that it will be about the Old Republic. Not
That's so
confirmed,
exciting.
of course.
Oh my gosh.
But
Please.
it's from making Star Wars, I think. They're supposedly going to start filming this fall. For all our listeners, wait.
Never mind. Sorry. Continue. For all our listeners.
So for all our listeners, thank you for joining in to hear us talk about like our experience with Star Wars. And moving on, we hope that you can kind of join us on this journey of experiencing the things that Star Wars has to show for us in the next year. It's gonna be a big one. So we'll be talking about it here on Womp Rats.
Yeah.
So if you like this, please follow us on Twitter at WompRatsPod. The pod is capitalized. Our YouTube is just Womp Rats. The Instagram is
YouTube?
at Womp. Yeah, we do.
Videos
Surprise.
on there?
No,
Probably
we're
just
just gonna
audio.
upload the podcast on there.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get this out on either iTunes or like something.
All of the
all the stuff. At Womp Rats at Rats is our Instagram, and that's just more of a general fan account. If you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Facebook. Follow us.
Well, yeah, we're gonna make a Facebook.
Yeah. Follow me at Abigail Friel on Instagram and Twitter. Do you guys have any?
Follow her YouTube too.
Yeah,
still
Abigail
use
Friel.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any social media you want to plug?
No, don't follow me on anything.
Connor's a ghost, but you can follow me. Literally, just by following
Yeah.
one of us, they could reach Connor, but it's fine. Follow me at landon.best on Instagram. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
But I guess I can plug my Twitter too. That's literally just like Landon Best. Landon_best. But yeah, so
Thanks for listening.
thank
If
you
you've made
for
it this
listening.
far.
If you made it this far, God bless.
Are we gonna have like a saying? Like, how do we close it out?
Something Womp Rats related.
Womp.
Womp womp.
Thanks
Womp
for
womp.
womping with us. I don't like that at all.
Looking at him.
Read that one. Well, thank you all for listening.
I'm about to
Tune in with
bullseye
us
lads
next
into my
time.
T16.
Right, yeah.
The fuck? Dude.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Tune in next time. We'll have a lot more to cover. Celebration is coming up, so we're gonna have a ton to talk about.
Yes.
So it's gonna be really exciting. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Womp
Bye.
Rats signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.